It's another segment with Pete, the Iowa DOT update, brought to you by Mason City All Risk Insurance. If you want some crop insurance, that's the place to go and get that all taken care of. So, Pete, a little bit of an interesting morning here this morning. Got a little bit of fog going on.
Yeah, it is. And with that moisture in the air and the temperatures where they're at, we are having some slick spots where the moisture is freezing to the road. I was talking to our shop supervisors, and they, especially on interstate, the passing lanes are a little slick in some places. And it's one of those things where it's going to be spotty. So be aware of it. Anytime you got moisture in the air like this and that you have temperatures below freezing, there's a good chance that there's going to be spotty ice. So keep that in mind as you're driving today.
Very important, too, not to use cruise control.
Very good point, Jay. Yeah, you don't want to be using the cruise control because, again, of those spotty patches. You go into a skid, and the only way to turn the cruise control, not the only way, but I guess, force of habit for most people is when you want to turn the cruise off, you hit the brakes. And if you're sliding on ice and you hit the brakes, that's not a good combination.
Right. I should remind people, too, that we're streaming on our YouTube page, 98.7 Kiss Country, also our Facebook page, 98.7 Kiss Country, and the Morning Rush Facebook page. So if you do have a question for Pete, feel free to chime in. You can make a comment, and we'll get that passed along to Pete. So, but yeah, the difference that I don't get to do anymore when I used to drive from Garner to Mason, I give you a full road report.
Right.
Well, when I live in town, I can't do that no more.
Nope. No, I actually probably drive farther than you do. I drive from the north side of town and all the way to the south side of town. So,
Yeah, right.
and I will tell you that in town the streets were good, but it
Yeah,
doesn't mean things will change. And again, it's going to be very, very spotty. But doesn't matter if you hit that ice spot, you're going to find out it's icy. So,
right.
crews are out and they are putting brine down to hopefully take care of it. So they were out yesterday as well and treated the bridges, and our bridges are in good shape. So again, that doesn't mean there can't still be ice, but most of the bridges are in good shape right now. It's just a spotty thing. So we are, even though we finally are out of the deep freeze, we got some decent temperatures. It's still winter, and there's still winter driving conditions out there. So be aware of it. And one other thing to keep in mind too, our crews are going to be out cleaning a lot of the bridge decks. When you clear the snow, a lot of the snow piles up along the guardrail.
Sure.
They're going to be out trying to remove most of that snow because when you get temperatures like this, that snow starts to melt and then it runs onto the road and then it freezes. So
Right.
they're going to be out trying to remove a lot of that snow along the guardrails today too. So just because you don't see snow falling doesn't mean you still got to be aware that the crews will be out there.
They were actually out yesterday. I saw a few of them on the roadways.
Yeah, they were out treating bridge decks yesterday. So
Yeah.
yeah, like we've talked about, just because it's sunny and 30 degrees doesn't mean they're not out working.
It's kind of weird, though, to see plows out when the sun's out and no snow.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's gotten a lot better. Although we still get phone calls on a day like yesterday. It's 30 degrees, and why are you out treating the roads? You're just wasting our money. Well,
People
no.
actually call about that?
Oh my goodness, daily.
Really?
Yeah, it's because like we talk about that we're treating the bridges. We're making sure that we don't get any frost that's going to form overnight, and
Right.
doing what we can to keep the roads as safe as possible. Now, with spotty stuff like that, we can't go out and we're not going to brine every mile of highway for some
Right.
possible spotty ice. But when it does form and everything like that, and we have trouble areas, we will get out there and treat it.
Yeah. So how long is this supposed to last this morning? Like till like 10?
I'm not even sure. I believe so. Usually, when the sun starts coming up, it gets better. But the thing is, if you look at the forecast, actually for the next pretty much 10 days, it's going to be the same type of conditions. So it's not just going to be a today thing. It looks like, we will be getting above freezing, which is great. But when you have all the snow on the ground and the moisture in the air, you do have the risk of things freezing to the road. So it's going to be like this for the majority of the week, probably until we get rid of the snow. And luckily, we aren't dealing with the stuff that I have pretty much all around us. I cannot believe that these last three storms more or less did a U-turn around us and
Yeah.
nailed the western, southern, and good part of the eastern part of the state.
Yeah, there's a little bit of snow in Okoboji.
Is there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
The ice is about 12 inches thick, and they got a big party going on this weekend with the winter games. And I only know that because I traveled there yesterday. still there today. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the fog to go away.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, that's, sounds like they'll have good weather, though. It's gonna be a lot better than it would have been a week or 2 ago.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, I bought a sweatshirt and a stocking cap, and that's all I need for the weekend.
Yeah, you're probably right. I've seen a few posts where they got fire pits sitting out everywhere.
Yeah.
Looks like a good time.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance to come on over here, here we
I
are.
never know. I might actually have to go out ice fishing this weekend, Jay. It'd be my first opportunity this year.
There you go.
Actually, I
Just
could have gone last weekend, but I wasn't going to deal with those temperatures.
I've heard a
I
lot of people talking about, ice fishing the Clear Lake and the Okoboji area.
Yeah, yep.
S
No, I've ice fished up there before. I spent a long weekend up there a couple of years ago with some friends, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, people need to drive safe, this weekend and actually, starting today, basically, all the way through the weekend, like you said, but it's kinda nice though because we melt some of that snow away, but what's Mother Nature having in store for us?
Guess we'll find out the next 10 days. It
Yeah.
looks like I said, it looks pretty good with the temperatures, but we know that what 10 days takes us into early February.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of winter left.
Yeah, there's, boys and girls basketball tournaments usually in Des Moines, so that's when Mother Nature decides to go, "Hey, everybody's gonna be traveling. Let's put down some white stuff."
Yep, give us this hopefully will give us a little experience in driving. So if you do end up doing something like that, you'll at least be in the winter driving mode.
Yeah. Well, people were not on the radio today, so but, at least right now anyway, but, anything else with the roads?
The only thing I was gonna throw out there, Jay, and I know, and we'll probably talk about it again next week when we do get these storms and residents and businesses are cleaning their driveways and everything. Be careful where you push that snow, especially businesses along state highways.
Sure.
It's illegal to put that snow in the right of way. Number one, we need it for storage as far as pushing snow off the roads. And number two, it can really cause problems at intersections. So just throwing that out there, not saying that it's a problem or anything right now, but it has been a problem in the past. And as we finally got our first snowfalls, figured we'd throw it out there and just make people aware of it.
Right. And, of course, don't forget if you're gonna be doing some traveling, you're curious about the roadways, you can always get that, mobile app, 511ia.org on the computer or just 511IA on your, mobile app, and that, download is very convenient, very easy, it's free, and it's up to date, and you can see in the cabs of the trucks, and you can it tells you where the slippery spots are, if there's no tow bands, if there's accident I mean, you got everything in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on there. And like I've always said, go on there and play around, see what's out there. You're not going to break it, and you can get an idea of what kind of information is there, and then you'll know where to look when you need it. And I checked literally a minute or so before we went on, and just like we said, some of the roads up here are listed as partially covered, so there the information is there. Make sure you use it.
Yeah. That do you have to refresh that when it does go on, if the road updates at all or not? Or does it automatically just change on you?
It usually automatically just changes. Now, if it's been sitting open for an hour and you go back to it, I wouldn't be a bad idea to hit the refresh button. But no, I've had it up on the screen, and all of a sudden I see it refresh automatically. But like I said, if you haven't been looking at it for a while, it wouldn't be a bad idea to hit the refresh just to make sure.
Sure, sure. Big weekend this past weekend, football, if you're into that and doing some betting, which I've been doing.
You said that kind of slow, Jay. That doesn't usually indicate success.
Well, I can never hit the big ones, but I get
Yeah,
the little ones. So they add up to, 20, $30 or whatever.
sure,
But, I only bet like $1
right.
on each one.
Well, see,
But
you do it the smart way. There's
yeah,
way well, I don't need to get into the
the
philosophy
gambling.
of yeah, but, there's too many people who will lose a couple bets and then try to catch up by doing a big
Yeah.
bet, and that's why you do the small bets and just make it as a, fun
Fun.
thing that makes the game a little more interesting.
Yeah, yeah, except you get a little bit upset when you cash out early thinking that, "Oh, no, they're gonna lose the game, I'm gonna cash out early," and then they end up winning the game. That's what happened.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
why they offer that.
I know, but I go,
I've
"Man, that."
said it before. There's a reason there's all kinds of fountains in the desert.
Ain't that the truth?
People are paying for them.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, well, the Packers got beat, it's kind of excited about that, And then I don't hate me, Packer fans. You'd be saying I've talked to y'all, and you do the same thing for the Vikings.
Yes, they
Eh,
would.
so the one that everybody just kind of goes, man, they've been horrible for how many years, you know. So, but now they're in the the title game to get into they win this game, they're going to the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I would guess that they are even ahead of schedule. My guess is they're probably a year or two ahead of where the organization thought they would be. And good for them.
Yeah,
They've got a great team, and we've talked about too. They've got a couple of Iowa players on their team,
yeah,
and Iowa State with David Montgomery. So Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta, who's one of the best tight ends in the NFL as a rookie. So
right.
yeah, it's kind of fun to have those connections.
I think a lot of
And
the tight
then
ends in the NFL are from Iowa.
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Kittle, for the 49ers. So they're going to be playing against each other.
Yep. Yeah, and then Baltimore. I don't think he's starting, although I know there's been some injuries. Charlie Kohler, their tight end, he played for Iowa State.
Yeah,
So we've got three of the four teams covered. Who's
right.
the other team? Kansas City. Oh yeah, they got that Kelsey guy. I guess he's not from. I guess he's not from Iowa or Iowa State.
Yeah. He's somewhere in the middle of Ohio or somewhere, I think.
Cincinnati, I believe.
Yep, that's
Yep.
right. But yeah, so so who are you hoping for the Lions to get into the Super Bowl? I mean, I would love to see the Lions and the two that everybody's been talking about, the 49ers and the Ravens.
Sure.
I- you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see Brock Purdy do well,
Yep.
for the 49ers, and I love to see that storyline because they're still not going to give him any credit for being an irrelevant quarterback and going to the Super Bowl and breaking all sorts of records. And it's just Brock Purdy; he's a system quarterback. It's in a whole nother conversation and another beer too. But but
Couldn't agree more.
but to see the Lions in the division representing our division with the Vikings and the Packers and the Bears, and they're always in the bottom of the low man on the totem pole. It seems like, and
Sure.
it's kind of the roles have reversed this year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
it's one of those things. Even last week when San Francisco's game, obviously I wanted San Francisco to win that one, but the Detroit Tampa game, yeah, I was leaning towards Detroit, but the Baker Mayfield story is pretty cool. What
yeah,
he has done and how he more or less resurrected his career. And it was funny. It was mainly because the coaching staff, according to him anyway, most of the coaches he's played for has tried to tame him down, try to
yeah,
keep him from being himself. And this coaching staff more or less said, "No, you go out there and be you. You
yeah,
go out there and do what you do." And turned out pretty well.
yeah, yeah. Throw interceptions and
Yeah,
lose a game.
yeah. Well, he got them pretty far. He got them
Yeah,
a lot farther than our team.
he did. But it's kind of a crazy year between all the refs and now the quarterbacks that are all in there. Everybody's number one draft pick except Brock Purdy, and so that's why I like to see him go. But at the same time, it's kind of a toss up. Like I said, I'd like to see the Lions and maybe the Lions Chiefs Super Bowl would be kind of cool. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be more of a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I really would. As long as it's not raining. Seems like Purdy struggles in the rain. He did that
Yeah,
Cleveland game, and obviously it's funny too, and you hit on it. Some of the people who won't give him credit and say he's got to lead a big drive in a big game or whatever. Well, he did not have his best game last weekend, and when they needed a drive
he
to
brought it.
win the game, he did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's playing well, and I really hope he starts getting the credit he deserves.
Yeah, I do too. And like I said, that's why I'd like to see him get to the Super Bowl and win it.
Yep.
And because of all that, and just you know, sometimes you just want to go, well, let's see if there's any birds around there. Oh, there's a couple of ravens. Yeah, let me point at them with my bird.
Yep. Yeah. No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun again this weekend. Should be a couple good games. Last weekend was pretty good entertainment. So it is kind of relaxing when your
Yeah,
team's not playing.
right, exactly. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So after football's done, what do you do? I mean, because I know a lot of guys are like, the football widows, they come back and the ladies, you get your husbands back, or guys, sometimes the women are just into football as much as you are, if not more. You get them back. So then what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm hopefully gonna get some more ice fishing in. That's my goal.
Well, you need to take the TV with you, Pete. You can do that now.
You can, but not when you sit on a bucket and don't use a tent or anything.
Oh, yeah. Very true.
Yep. No, I'm hoping to get a little more ice fishing in. Obviously, the weather and the ice hasn't been the best until about a week or so ago. So, hoping that I can get a little of that done. And I tell you what, it's not going to be long. And you hit, you get through February and March, and then all of a sudden you start looking forward towards spring. And yeah, the thing is too, as far as following, I mean, it's happening already. The speculation with the draft and the free agency, and
Yeah.
as soon as the Super Bowl's over, it'll really kick into high gear. So I enjoy that as well. And there's plenty to watch. We've still got college basketball, men and women. I'm excited today. Hopefully, I believe it's at 4 o'clock Central. They announce the Hall of Fame inductees for baseball,
Oh,
and Joe Mauer. This is his first year of eligibility,
yeah.
and the speculation I've seen from, I guess the sports writers can turn in their ballots whenever, and they can have them be public or not public. And all the ballots that have come in as far as being public, it looks really good for Mauer to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, and that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be so
Min
cool.
Minnesota Twins for how many years did he play for the Twins?
Oh man, I can't remember. I can't remember. It was a
Long
long
time.
time. Yeah, and I'll admit, I think I did for a while too. I think too many of us took him for granted.
Yeah.
And then you start looking back at his numbers and some of the things he did, and you're like, yeah, I guess he was pretty good.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, but by the time all that's done, March Madness and all that, then like I said, springtime and warmer temperatures on the way, and then we'll all be outside and we'll forget all about that until about June, and we'll go, man, we sure miss football.
Yeah, I'll get the blood flowing in, what is it, late April when the
Yeah.
draft. I
Yeah.
I enjoy watching the first round. Then I just kind of follow it after that. Have alerts on my phone and that. But I do enjoy watching the first round. They've really made it into the NFL's really made it into an event, a prime
Yeah.
time event, and they've done a pretty good job with it. It's kind of fun to watch and see what happens.
Yeah. So we'll have to find out coming up this weekend. Of course, then you have the final playoff game to see who's going to the Super Bowl, and then you have a week off because we're going to have the All Star or the Pro Bowl going on, which is touch football now,
Yep.
and so at least you got something going on during the weekend, and then you get a get planned for the big party, for the Super Bowl. You got big plans. Are you gonna go to any parties? You gonna stay home and watch it all by yourself?
Actually, no, I got a friend who invited me over, so I'll head over there and probably eat a bunch of food I shouldn't and watch the game and just relax.
Yeah, because we don't have to scream at the TV because the Vikings aren't in it.
Oh, I'll probably be screaming because most of us get into some type of pool, and instead of cheering for teams,
Yeah.
you're cheering for numbers.
Right, or everybody's on their phone, like in my neighborhood, everybody's on their phone because we all go checking our bets.
Yeah,
Oh, I just missed that one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it fun.
Yeah, it does, it does. Well, Pete, drive safe out there. Again, roadways covered, a little bit spotty with icy, and they got some fog out there, so if you're making your trek out to work, better be taking off a little bit sooner just in case. You don't wanna be driving at, speeding, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, but it is what it is, but, don't use your cruise control either.
Yep, like I said before, temperatures are much better, but it's still winter driving, and there's still winter road conditions to be aware of. So take it easy, and we're about to not far from turning the page into February, and we're getting closer.
Right. Exactly. It's one day closer to spring, that's how I like
That's
to look at it.
exactly right. You're exactly right.
Pete, have yourself a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll talk to you again next week, all right?
All right, you do the same. Enjoy Okoboji.
You bet.